Okay, so let's be real here. Most of us probably get into coding at least partly for the money, right? And like contrary to what most people will tell you, there's nothing wrong with this per se. But there is a problem. Most of us, like I used to, think that all we really need to do is learn the skills, and then because coding is such a valuable skill, you'll eventually be able to just go out there and build your apps and whatever and make a whole bunch of money. But the reality that most people don't tell you is that it's not really as simple as that, is it? Especially in this new age of ChatGPT and other exponentially developing AI, you simply cannot rely on just being a tinkerer who can write some code. Because to make money with code, there's actually like a whole different skill that you'll have to learn on top of your coding skills if you want to be able to use these skills to actually bring in some cold hard cash. And I recently learned exactly what this skill is while I was on a coaching call with my startup business coach Bakir. On this call I learned of this very simple framework that you can start using today that has helped Bakir himself become, first of all, a 2-time successful startup founder himself, and he also uses this same framework to allow countless other people with technical skills start turning their skills into money. What I've learned is that there's one simple key that most people completely miss when they start to think about becoming maybe an entrepreneur or just starting to think of ideas to make like passive income and things like that. And the gist of it is that money goes to people who solve problems for others. And what I learned from Bakir is that there's a 3-question framework that we can use to start coming up with great problems to solve.
My experience has shown me that most questions are bad questions. Literally, the quality of your entrepreneurial success is defined by the questions you ask. Exactly what I witnessed in me starting companies, but also helping other people starting companies. Over the past years, I developed my own framework. You know how there is the business model canvas framework? I think it's really, really bad. And I will explain to you why I think it's really bad. Because it has so much happening where you just don't know. So I delivered my own framework, which is much, much simpler. So it's just 3 questions you have to answer yourself. Question 1 is, what markets do I know? And now you might think, okay, what is a market? What's a market? What are you talking about? Market is very simple. Markets consist of 3 things. It's somebody who's selling something, offering a product or service. It's somebody who needs this kind of product and service, but there is always also this product being delivered or the service being delivered, and in exchange for money. This is really important for market. This is how markets work, right? So let me bring this concept down. Just like go through your history. If you have no clue where to start, go through your history and write down all the experiences you made. Even if you've just been like a member in a gym or so, this is a thing you have encountered in your life. Like people go inside, people pay, people use the stuff, you know, there is somebody at the counter, there is like money being transferred monthly basis and so on. So write down everything.
The only thing that the users of your app are gonna care about is, does it solve some problem for them? Is it useful for them or not? Finding actually useful apps and problems to solve is not easy. So that's why the first place to start is just to look at areas that you know. What have you done in your life? What have you experienced? Because there's a million different things that you could do in this life, but those areas that you actually have experience in and that you actually know are the best places to start coming up with concrete problems. Like if you've never been an accountant, you're probably not the best person to try to come up with the next big accounting software or something like that.
I sometimes talk to people like in the first discussion, and then they say exactly what you said. I don't have anything, yada yada yada. And we keep talking for an hour, and then things keep popping up. Oh, I did this, I did that. Actually, I've done this. Actually, I've done that. And like it's a process. You have to take your time. You have to open your mind and just be open, because it's creative work what you're doing, and there's different levels to creativity. Coders, in general, very generally speaking, are not very, very good at super creative, free flow thinking. Anything counts, because they want to be exact, they want to have it work, right? But this is a skill that can be learned, definitely.
Even after you found some markets, you're still not ready to start coding. Sorry, because what you need to get you closer to this key is question number 2.
The second question is, what problems have you encountered, right? So let's say, for example, you're a gym goer and you notice that, I don't know, let's say that making the contracts is really complicated. So they print out a form, you have to fill it out, it takes forever. Like they have stupid questions. This takes forever. This is just one simple problem in the whole market, but it's one problem that you encountered, right? Remember question 1, all the markets. Question 2 is, what problems have you encountered in all the markets? Don't judge. This is not the time to judge. It's the time to really be creative and write everything down, no matter how bad it is, right? Because judging comes later.
Maybe you applied for universities and you realize that the application system sucks. Or maybe you like learning languages and you haven't found a way for you to easily track your learning and to have some sort of a system to track your learning progress. It's a problem that could be solved by, for example, building an improved language learning portal or something like that. But also don't get too hung up on problems that you have, because remember, making money is about providing value for others and then getting money in return for that. So it's not actually important what problems you have, it's important what problems other people have, and ideally as many people as possible so you can have as many customers as possible.
So what is the difference between a handyman and an entrepreneur? The difference is very easy. The handyman, the tinkerer, they think about, when they start projects, they always only think about themselves, which is totally fine. I'm not judging that at all. This can be great fun. Build your own stuff. This can be great fun. Building is amazing. But who does it serve? It serves only this one person, right? So the entrepreneur thinks about, who can I serve besides me? So even if you're building something where you have the experience, you have to think about, what do people actually want and what are they willing to actually pay for? Because that is how you make money.
It's not about us, it's about other people. With this YouTube channel, it's not about what videos I want to make, it's about what videos do you guys want to watch, because that's what's gonna get me views and as a result, money. If you want to just build projects that you want to build, that's cool, go for it, but just realize that that's probably not the best way to start coming up with projects that can actually make you money. But even if you do these two things of finding markets and finding specific problems that you have encountered, there's still a massive problem standing in front of you, and this key is what it is.
The third question is, what are your skills, your individual skills in solving the problems you witnessed, right? Because it doesn't matter if you witness this problem, if you're really unable to solve it, it really doesn't matter, right? So for most of the guys probably watching your videos, guys and girls, it's coding stuff. It's coding related. Yeah. So I know how to solve software issues. So you have to write down all your skills without judging, Maybe it's just you're really good at talking to people. You're really good at making YouTube videos, This could be a skill you have. Just write everything down. And then once you did that, you need to look at the intersection between these 3 areas. So it means, what markets do I understand? What problem is there? And what skill can I bring in to really dig into this? And I came up with this really easy framework. I call it the Promising Business Idea Framework, PBI framework, because everybody can come up with business ideas. Is it a promising business idea? Okay, it's maybe not a promising.
Yeah.
And I would advise everybody to really look at, what is your unfair advantage where nobody can really beat you? Because if it's somebody that anybody can do, probably you don't have this.
Okay, so we've answered these 3 questions. We've found markets, we've found actual problems that we have encountered before, and we have figured out what skills we have to solve those problems. There's still one mistake that if you do this, it's still gonna stop your progress.
The only currency which proves if your business is working or not is actually money in your bank account. This is the only thing that matters. This is why I personally press people to go into the market as soon as possible. Can you build a minimum viable product that has the core essence inside it? You know how they say perfect is reached when you can strip it down no more without losing the core. this is when like it's really perfect. Like, you know how Apple products have like one button, it's not like loaded with stuff, you know, shrink it down to the bare minimum. I know I'm an engineer myself, and I love like building stuff. So we have the tendency to start like coding and like doing stuff, but it's completely wrong. Like strip it down to the bare minimum, and then you should go to forums and talk threads and so on, and then measure actively if there is word of mouth happening and if people are still using it after you stop talking about it. And this is a really good indicator. And then the second thing would be, can you monetize it? Like, I'm not talking about thousands, I'm talking about, can you make $10 from this thing? And then I would continue. If not, I would probably change the whole thing or about like abandon the project at all.
You might have all these crazy ideas of these bells and whistles and all this that you want to include, but in the beginning you want to actually hold back and you want to simplify it, because the last thing you want to do is do what business owners used to do in the past, which is like going into some cave and like building this amazing thing for 12 months only to then realize that no one actually wanted the app in the first place. And this is the biggest mistake that programmers make. Like, they have this perfectionist mindset and it's like, oh, I need to have these efficient algorithms and like all these amazing features, like,
oh look, I built this such interesting architecture, this is so complicated.
But your first users are not going to care about these things. They're just going to care about, does it actually solve a problem for them? And as much as you might think that your idea is amazing, the only way to really know if your app actually is amazing is to just put it out there. And the fastest way to do that is to just try with the simplest version possible. And if your simplest MVP version doesn't get any traction, the idea probably isn't as good as you thought it was. Your first idea might not succeed. Your second idea might not succeed either. But in life, businesses fail, but entrepreneurs succeed. If you just keep trying, eventually you will succeed. The question is, do you want it bad enough? And this is the key to making money with code. It's not about the code, guys. It's about being a problem solver. You have the ability to go out there and find problems and then solve them for other people. And this is exactly the same mindset that you need to have even if you're just an employee. Especially as you get more senior, companies will expect you to be able to think like a problem solver. Coding is just a tool to solve problems. That is why it's a valuable skill, because there's so many problems that can be solved with it. Now you just need to go and find them. And no, it's not easy. In life, anything worth doing is not easy, but I can tell you that it is so worth it. If you yourself have dreams of turning your technical skills into an actual business and you would like help implementing these steps that we have discussed right here, I will leave Bakir's YouTube channel down below in the description. He makes excellent videos about self-improvement, about tech, and about business. He also does coaching. He's been coaching me and it's been tremendously helpful. Like I said, he's a 2-time successful startup founder. He helps other people do the same. So if you're interested, you can find a link to his startup coaching from his YouTube channel. I would highly recommend it. Okay, so as we discussed, the crucial theme of this video is being a problem solver. And to be a good problem solver, there really isn't any other way than just to keep solving a lot of problems to keep your skills up to date. Recently, I've been focusing specifically on the skill of algorithmic problem solving, and I've been doing that using this video sponsor Brilliant. And the one that I've been going through just as practice is their Algorithms Fundamentals course. And what I really love about these is that the more I just learn about the skill of learning in general, the more I realize that everything with learning is just about interactivity. You need to be constantly practicing what you learn. Brilliant has literally been built around this idea of interactivity. Brilliant also focuses a lot on visualization, which is another learning technique I'm a huge fan of. And this combined inside their interactive lessons just makes even complex ideas click so much faster. To try everything Brilliant has to offer for completely free for a full 30 days, you can visit brilliant.org/internetmakecoder. First 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. Go sign up now if you haven't done so already.